Welcome to Star Teacher Training. My name is Will and I'm really excited to share with you, actually, hold on a sec. Oh, that's weird. Welcome to Star Teacher Training. My name is Will and I'm really excited to share with you a tip for teaching English while masked. I got this tip from observing a bunch of teachers recently in preschool and primary school classes, and I saw this issue coming up frequently, especially with younger and lower level students. And that was that the students were really struggling to keep up with their teachers, to understand their intent, their instructions, or their questions. And the teachers were really struggling because they weren't getting great responses from their students. So in this video, I'm going to talk about why this is happening and a quick tip that you can use to get much better responses from your students. So keep watching. So the issue is that masks cut context, and context is really important for children, especially young children, to be able to understand a language, either their mother tongue or any foreign language like English that they're learning. Context includes things like pictures, the situation, what people are pointing at, their body language, and especially their faces. Faces of the speakers provide a lot of information that helps students to understand vocabulary or grammar that they don't understand, because the face conveys tone and feeling and intention, and also the lips provide information of how words are said, which for young children is still very important. Especially the younger children are, the more they need these clues, because the younger they are, the fewer words that they actually understand and the more context they have to use to understand what's going on. But unfortunately, masks cut a significant part of that context from the students. And without it, it's just a lot harder for them to understand what their teacher is saying. Another thing that masks do is that they muffle our voices and they flatten our tones. So in English, where if you're from America and you ask a question, your tone goes up at the end, or if you're from England and your tone goes down at the end for a question, students are losing that key information. And so it's a lot harder for them to tell when their teacher is asking a question. So what can we do about this? Well, fortunately, we can provide other context clues to supplement what's been lost because of the mask. And the biggest and best way we can do that is with body language and hand gestures. For example, if we're asking a question, instead of just asking the question, we can do a W sign like this. And students will know that when we do this, or we hold something in like this, that we're asking a question. Or if we want our students to listen to something that we're saying, we can put our hands to our ears. If we want our students to repeat after us, we can point to our lips and then point to them. Or if we want our students to raise their hands to ask a question, we can give them a signal like that. These will all help our students to understand our instructions or to understand our intentions. And we can do it with all sorts of things like open your books, close your books, stand up, sit down. All of these will again help our students to understand our instructions and just follow along a lot more easily. Another thing that we can do is use our body language really in an exaggerated way to communicate our emotions and our tone to our students. So for example, if we're happy and we want to praise our students, instead of just saying, "Students, I'm happy because everyone sat down," we could really exaggerate our body language. So, "Students, I'm happy because everyone sat down quickly." And so we can exaggerate what we were saying with our eyes and with our arms and our shoulders to really communicate that emotion. Or if we're giving instructions and we want our students to keep something secret, we could really hunch and hold it closely so our students know that they shouldn't show this thing to anybody else because we're playing a guessing game. So using our body language will also help our students to understand how we're feeling and our tone, and also again instructions of how we want them to do, and just leave a lot of things that are unsaid but the students can infer from our body language. Now these tips are useful for any time of the year, even without COVID and without masking, but they're especially important when we're masked up and our students have lost a lot of context because of that. When I gave this tip to teachers in feedback from their observations, they went and tried it in their next lessons and immediately saw much better responses from their students, especially when they consistently used the same gestures. Their students very quickly figured out what they wanted and gave them the responses that they wanted. So give it a try in your next lessons. And don't forget to check out my website, starteachertraining.com, for more tips and tricks on how to teach English successfully, especially in large classes. And once you're there, you'll also find information on my Udemy course, which is on classroom management. And finally, don't forget to click like and subscribe if you like this video. Thanks again. See you next time.